They spent all of last year behind bars and they remain in jail. Despite an appeals court in Cairo granting a retrial, Peter Grester, Beher Mohammed and Mohammed Fahmy still do not have their freedom. The judge in Thursday's session said it was not in his power to grant bail.
We welcome the court's decision to accept the appeal of our journalists, but at the same time we demand that they are immediately released. They are unjustly imprisoned. Everything is politicized. Their arrest and the verdict against them were also politicized.
After the arrests of the 3 Al Jazeera staff on December the 29th, 2013, it was initially assumed that there had been a mix-up over accreditations. But it soon became clear that the Egyptian authorities under the new government of General Abdel Fattah al-Sisi had other intentions. Peter Grester, a veteran correspondent who was an Africa specialist, but by his own admission knew little about Egypt, was shocked by the accusation that he was linked in some way to what the government in Cairo described as terrorists. And the same could be said of his team, Mohammed Fahmy and Beher Mohammed. By mid-January, much of the international media was demanding the release of the 3. As well, the hashtag #FreeAJStaff went viral, and in the US, the UK and elsewhere, respected journalists protested, saying that the treatment of the Al Jazeera employees was a threat to the entire journalistic community trying to report from Egypt. The trial failed to come up with anything against the 3 men, which could even vaguely have been said to incriminate them. A video of sheep herding, some of Grester's work in Kenya, footage from a different channel entirely were found on their laptops. Adjournment after adjournment followed. Eventually in June, the men were convicted and jailed. And today's court ruling ordering a retrial doesn't mean the men will be leaving jail soon.
I'm disappointed because I was expecting something better today. I was expecting, yes, a retrial, but I was expecting with that a release today. We were really hoping for that. We wanted Mohammed to come with us home today.
The first trial was most unfair and unjust. There is nothing that can be guaranteed about even for a retrial. Our hope and our expectation is that that will get Peter home sooner. However, it is not just a single-track process in that we understand that that is not going to cross the progression of the other legal stream, and that is his case being taken to a retrial.
In the past 12 months, world leaders, including President Obama, denounced the men's imprisonment. On hearing news of a retrial, a human rights lawyer said world leaders could do more.
And the most useful thing we could do is to get President Obama, our friends in the White House, to speak out against Egypt, because they've been, for all their free speech beliefs, they've been very quiet on this one, perhaps because there's no American journalist, but we can do a lot more now, and I think we've got to.
The Egyptian government has always said the journalist's imprisonment was not a political decision and that it was now up to the appeals process to determine what should happen next. And now that a retrial has been ordered, there is hope that this ordeal will be over soon. But until then, Al Jazeera and journalists around the world continue to campaign for the freedom of 3 men who remain behind bars for simply doing their job. Charles Stratford, Al Jazeera.